taking my lessons. Like going out on those short courses and working on that type of stuff, that's where you can make up a lot of shots in your game.
And I think it's good because mentally you're not as stressed
Yeah.
to fly around a golf course. You're not holding anyone up. You can really focus on getting dialed in with your wedge game, the short game, how to hit the golf ball.
What would be just a general tip for everybody out there? Anything you want to say about the short game? What would you say? Just one thing.
The short game?
Putting or chipping? What would give me one thing so our listeners can take to heart and go out there and practice?
Get it as close as you can every time.
Well, come on, Austin.
Make it every time.
There got to be something out there. I mean, maybe a club selection when to use something, when not to use. Like sometimes using a gap wedge compared to a sand wedge compared to a pitching wedge. Because I don't. My distances can be different all the time, so I don't. Sometimes club selection is an issue. Sometimes I like to punch sevens as opposed to just chip it onto the green.
I would say the biggest technical thing I can give someone, don't be shallow when you're chipping. Get a little steep. Have a little more shaft lean. Come from, swinging outside to in. Because now everyone wants to be shallow with their swing, but elite players don't get shallow. They get steeper with it. Look at Scotty Scheffler. He plays a pull cut all around the golf course, and it works for him.
Well, good segue.
That's the whole thing is finding what works.
Yeah, what's comfortable.
And that's the
for
thing
you.
too. Like I think around the greens, like some people get committed to like if I'm chipping, I'm going to always use the same club because that's what I chip with. You got to look at what the shot calls for. It's how much green you got, everything else. You can play different shots even though it's a chip from where depending on what kind of shot it is.
I kind of let the green dictate what I do. But sometimes it is easy. It's just to grab that, gap wedge, sand wedge, and say, hey, this is my trusty old club. I know exactly what it's going to do.
Right.
And you just execute what you know how to do.
If the ground's hard, if the ground's mushy, all kinds of stuff.
For me, I finally just took my 60-degree wedge out of my bag because I couldn't hit it, and I'm still terrible around the greens, but I'm not quite as terrible as I was with 60. Like
he broke it over his knee, by the way. He was that frustrated.
No, I just took. I don't know why I continue to try and battle this thing. It's because I don't think most people can hit a 60-degree wedge or should even try to hit a 60-degree wedge.
And to the higher handicappers, I would say put the 60 in the bag because you have to swing so hard just to get it to go because the 60 is made to go higher and not, out.
I use a 58.
I love it.
Okay.
56 is what I've got as my highest.
I love it.
I gave up.
Okay. You had said the words Scotty Scheffler. I think everybody has heard of him. The big draw that'll be in Memphis, the prohibitive favorite. I'm not sure because you're going to San Francisco if you'll even have a chance to get out there. But man to beat, is that your guy this week or is there somebody else?
I'm a betting man, and I like Scotty this week. He can just tear up Southwind with the best of them, like him. And it's hard not to bet on the hottest player in the world right now. That doesn't care about golf. That just cares about his family. So his brain is elsewhere, and he's just dominating the field.
I would suggest for people who want to throw a few dollars on there, they make sure they do it before the tournament because right now I think you can get like plus 280, which at the beginning of a golf tournament, there's astronomical prices. And there are with everybody but Scotty. But plus 280 is nice, right? You wait till he gets out to and throws up a 65, it's going to be like minus 110 or something.
Yeah, you don't get any money after round one.
Yes, you better jump on him right away. So who do you think are?
Yeah, but what if he's 5 shots back in round one? Then it's out.
Well, that's different. That's different. That's different.
That's the risk you take.
Yeah, I mean you can play it that way. You can say, I'm just going to hope he has a bad round one, and then I'm going to get better.
What are the chances, though? The chances are more that he's going to be good than he's going to be bad.
So last year, his worst round at Southwind was 1 under. Out of 4 days, that's the worst round he had.
With way that golf course, I mean, everybody, it is a ball striker's golf course. Everything like I don't know how he hasn't won here. Like you just assume he would have won here by now because there's obviously no better ball striker on the PGA Tour than him. I mean, every stat basically from tee to green he leads. So it's just amazing that he hasn't won.
How many years has he actually been on tour? It's not been that long.
It's not
right?
long. I would say 5th or 6th.
Yeah, so he hasn't had a ton of
Him and
opportunities.
Morikawa and that group all came out at the same time. Now, he took longer to win than the rest of them.
But now once
He started winning, he just didn't quit.
Yeah.
You got another couple of guys, maybe even a dark horse that you think might give him a big challenge here this week?
I'll tell you, the guy I like, Ben Griffin, he has been just steady up there. He gives himself a chance every tournament, it seems.
That's true.
And he's never out of it. Is he going to win it? I don't know. But you have to be in it to win it.
He is Austin Chin, City of Memphis golf player of development coordinator. He is also in charge of all the competitions. He wears a lot of hats. You can go to the website if you want to get some instruction from Austin, who is very good at doing that. I can tell you that firsthand. Listen, have fun in San Francisco. Best of luck to Winburn out there. Best of luck to you.
Have you ever been
have a
out
good
there?
time.
Have you played Olympic Club as hard as he?
We both have never been to Olympic Club, but I have been to San Francisco. I have family out there.
Well, enjoy yourself out there.
Should be
fun.
good.
Thank you, Austin. Austin Chin, we appreciate him stepping in for Mickey Barker. We'll take a timeout, come back with our final 30 and change. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech For You. Technology simplified.
It's time to get loud, y'all. The FedEx St. Jude Championship kicks off August 6th through 10th. Don't miss your chance to watch the competition unfold as the PGA Tour's top 70 players take on TPC Southwind. Experience unmatched energy, fun fan activities at every corner, delicious Memphis bites, and much more. Get your front row seat to all the drama. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com. Kids 15 and under get in free with a ticketed adult.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:27 the time. We opened the show talking about the sad news of the passing of Doom Hayes at the age of 63, the former Memphis Tiger great, played from 80 to 84, in that great run, Dana Kirk's teams. If you have a thought on Doom Hayes, was around when he played, or know of him, and maybe have a memory or two, hit us up via the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line by texting at 901-360-8255 if you like.
They had another texter, one of my and many other Tigers fans, all-time favorites. He was the master of the bank shot. That's like everybody talks about the bank shot.
Yeah.
Which again, like we may never have another master of the bank shot. It just is not something that you see at all anymore. People banking, going with bank shots.
Yeah,
Part of it is you're not generally going to bank a three, and nobody shoots mid-range shots anymore. So it kind of has just been eliminated from the game because of the way we play the game now.
That's a really good point. Somebody had texted in, Walton used the backboard an awful lot. Of course, Big Fundamentals did with Tim Duncan. And I didn't get to watch Doom play. I've seen video of him, but yeah, that's a guy who definitely used that backboard. There's others out there certainly, but today I think it is definitely a lost art. But the game has changed, like you said. From the NFL, we got preseason games going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Bengals coach Zach Taylor tells reporters that quarterback Joe Burrow and other big-name players on the Bengals will play several series on Thursday night and more in Game 2 against the Commanders. Every coach has a different way of doing things. It'll be interesting to see somebody like Aaron Rodgers, what Mike Tomlin ends up doing, but I think you got to get a little bit of playing time for these guys. But the days of playing a half, the days of playing a full game, which they did back in the day, when they played 4 exhibition games, now called preseason games, and then whoever played in the Hall of Fame actually had a 5th game. Now it's down to 3 for every team, with the exception of the Chargers and the Lions, who are playing 4. But you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful. Look, they have these dual practices with other teams, and even though it's hands off the quarterback, they're chasing them down. They're not going to hit that quarterback, but you can turn an ankle, twist an ankle sprain, any knee sprain. These things are possible anytime. But, yeah, they're trying to avoid as much contact as they can, and that's why you see basically the backups playing in these preseason games.
I don't know what the Bengals have done the last couple years or few years in the preseason, but if I were them, I would be changing it.
Do the opposite. Exactly.
Because they've gotten off to bad starts. So it may be, I don't know how much Burrow's played. Maybe they haven't played him, and this year they're like, you know what? We basically get off to an 0-2 start every year. Let's do things differently this preseason and see if that changes things.
Does he personally get off to slow starts?
Joe Burrow doesn't generally have bad games.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's not really what Burrow's doing, but you're right. The team and what they're doing, they need to change it up because it hasn't worked. And that slow start last year cost them. They got red hot. Unfortunately, they ran out of they won their game in week 17. Unfortunately, they needed some help, and they didn't get that help. So here's a couple of depth charts that were released yesterday, and I bring this up for obvious reasons. The Jacksonville Jaguars depth chart, their first one comes out, and Seth Hennigan is not listed. The top 3 quarterbacks, you have Trevor Lawrence, you have Nick Mullins, you have John Wolford. So Seth Hennigan does not have his name is not in the top 3. It doesn't guarantee anything. It's the first depth chart, but I got to think that it's going to be an uphill battle for Seth to make the team, but maybe kept on the practice squad if that is the case. Again, nothing guaranteed, but not being named in the top 3 on the depth chart makes it a harder situation for him. By the way, Travis Hunter listed as a starting wide receiver and a second-string cornerback. Another weapon for Trevor Lawrence makes sense. Yet, while he'll play some on defense, and that's a big part of what he wanted with the team that ended up drafting him, and they moved up, and they traded an awful lot to be able to acquire him in the draft. He's going to play some. But I would assume that he's going to play a lot more on the offense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how they end up using him once the regular season starts. Certainly, he's not going to be able to play the percentage of snaps that he played in college. But just how much do they use him on each side, I think is going to be a very interesting experience. We just haven't seen this in the NFL. Other than guys dabbling on, being basically one play on a corner and then dabble at wide receiver like Dion and some others did. But for a guy to come in who in college was basically full-time on both sides of football, we just haven't seen this. So how they end up doing this will be interesting.
Well, think about it. If he was playing both ways every down, you have a long drive on offense, he's out there running routes. Okay, they finish with a touchdown or a field goal, whatever, kickoff. Now he's back on defense. I'm attacking him. I'm going at him. I'm running to his side. I'm throwing at him because he's only human. Even though he's probably in amazing shape, after a while, you're going to be just dead tired running around chasing NFL players. I don't see. That's why he's 2 on the depth chart at corner. He's going to be mainly a receiver, but he's going to play here and there. I'm not saying he's a nickel back or anything like that, but there's going to be packages for him. He is not going to be an everyday back. He just can't. There's no way physically that can work out. The Cleveland Browns, believe it or not, they have added another quarterback. Snoop Huntley has been added to the team because there's been some missed practices by Kenny Pickett, who's back now. Dylan Gabriel, who's, I think, out now. Again, nothing serious, but he's out. Sanders has missed a few practices as well. So they've added Huntley. So their depth chart came out yesterday. Flacco, 1, Pickett, 2, Gabriel, 3, Sanders, 4. Again, doesn't mean that that's the way it ends up. Huntley's added to the team. They also, by the way, still have Deshaun Watson, who takes up a roster spot on the team. So, again, on paper, just looking at this, you go, how the hell should Shedeur going to make this team? There's no way. But don't be surprised if the thing changes.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first depth charts that come out before a preseason game would play mean little.
Well, it's what they've seen in practice so far. They're not lying. They're putting it out there. But again, it just doesn't mean that that's the way it's going to finish. So he has to go out there and ball when he gets the opportunity. So does Dylan Gabriel. Hey, Kenny Pickett's going to play, and he has to ball. Now, Flacco, I don't know if I'm throwing Flacco out there in preseason games.
The crazy part is that Joe Flacco is the one guy who has remained healthy. The old guy is the healthy guy of all of their quarterbacks.
Yes, he has stayed healthy. This is his second go-around with Cleveland. He was very successful that first go-around. So I don't use him. Maybe Stefanski throws him out for a few plays in one of the preseason games. But the bulk of it's going to be Sanders and Gabriel. The problem is that, as I mentioned, they've missed some practices. That's why Huntley was brought in. I can't imagine Huntley runs in here and takes a spot, but he's in there for camp and preseason.
He's a warm body.
He's a warm body.
But because like Sanders practiced, I think yesterday again. I think he's back.
Yeah, he's back, but then Gabriel missed. And, of course, Pickett had missed, and then he's back. It's Cleveland. It's Cleveland. You never know what's going to happen there with Cleveland. But I still think it's going to be awfully tough for Sanders to make that team. Maybe the practice squad, I don't see it. Memphis Tigers football, I was over at practice again yesterday, second practice that I've seen, and once again, very good workout. Nothing really that blows me away. The size of those offensive linemen, really, that's the first thing you notice when you go out there and watch. I know they're very high on that offensive line. We talked to offensive coordinator Tim Cramsey about that. He's very happy with what they are. And I don't know if the kid, I didn't see him there, but the new receiver from Nevada that was reported, Memphis, the university never said anything, but I didn't notice him out there. But hopefully sooner than later to get into the flow of things, assuming that everything is correct on that report, and that's another weapon that they would have. But, just getting out there, watching these guys practice. I know yesterday they were probably excited that it was a little bit cooler. I don't want to say cool, because it was far from cool, but it was not oppressively hot. And for those guys out there practicing football, whether it's high school, whether it's college, or what have you, NFL, you don't wish the bad, oppressive heat of Memphis on your worst enemy.
Yeah, yesterday was very comfortable. I was outside a lot yesterday, and wasn't crazy humidity, wasn't crazy hot. It was by Memphis August standards, what we've had so far in the month of August certainly has been absolutely fantastic.
I did want to pass this along. We don't usually have news stories to talk about, but they did catch that guy, Austin Drummond, who is the suspect in the family's quadruple homicide in Northwest Tennessee, captured in the Jackson area. So, when you watch those stories and you wonder, my God, he's on the loose, is he going to come, and is it going to be towards us where we live here in Shelby County? But the authorities, according to reports, able to capture him today. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back with our final segment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everywhere I go, I take my laptop with me, and I happen to be coming through Memphis. We had a big show that night, and I just recorded a gem of a song on my laptop. And what do you know, the whole thing crashes. I lost this brand new song, and of course I didn't remember it because I was blackout drunk. So I heard about Cooper Systems. I took my computer over to Cooper Systems, and they were able to save everything. All the live footage, all the work I have done. I tell you, Lee and Lauren Cooper are the best at saving computers. So if your computer crashes, don't fret, my love. Go to Cooper Systems. You can find them on the web at coopersystems.com or call them at 360-9679. I tell you what, Lee, Lauren, and I are going to party like rock stars tonight because I owe them $1 million. But they don't charge $1 million there, mate. And you know what? They even have new and used computers there too. So if you need to get your little ladder computer, hop in there and get you a used computer. If you need to upgrade your Apple or get you a brand new HP or something along those lines, coopersystems.com. I tell you what, I'll be back in Memphis again, and when I do, I'll go see Lee and Lauren at Cooper Systems.
Newsflash. Family Leisure needs your help. Family Leisure has a warehouse full of inventory, and they need it cleaned out. Do your part to make room for new items, and you get great deals on almost everything. Listen up. All in-stock patio furniture, it's up to 80% off. You can get a 4-piece deep seating set for under $1,000. Chaise lounges. You buy one and you're going to need another, and that other one will be one half off. All Pollywood furniture, it's now 20 to 30% off. You buy any dining table, you're going to get an umbrella absolutely free, and they're not cheap. Now, is financing available? You better believe it. Special financing is a go. To sum it all up, Family Leisure has got to clear out its warehouse inventory, which means you're going to rack up the savings. Help Family Leisure clear out the warehouse. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together to clean out the warehouse.
To NST, it's never just another case. It's your shot at getting life back on track. Real help, real heart. 35 years and still winning. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or go online at nstlaw.com. When you're hungry for good meat, trust the family that has been feeding Memphis since 1967. Charlie Hogan and the Triangle Meat Company, formerly Charlie's Meat Market. Trust Triangle Meat for fresh beef, hamburger, and roast. Trust Triangle Meat for delicious pork ribs, chops, and butts. And trust Triangle Meat for tender chicken you'll love. Feeding lots of folks, Triangle Meat Company has all the meat you need. Shop Triangle Meat Company, 8 to 5, Monday through Saturday, 4790 Summer Avenue, 901-683-1192. Fresh or frozen, big or small, trust Triangle Meat Company.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:43 the time. Wrapping up our Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 coming up next. Brian Dacus will pinch hit once again for Dave Lotion. We are at TPC Southwind starting tomorrow. We'll be out there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We welcome everybody in town for the first of the 3 playoff events as the best golfers in the world battle for the FedEx Cup. One note from Major League Baseball last night, Kyle Schwarber hit 2 bombs and the Phillies DH / outfielder, 40 home runs on the season. So we talk about the big dumper. We talk about Judge, who's been out. We talk about Shohei. Schwarber, in the end, maybe the home run king.
He has been red hot. And one thing about Schwarber, when he hits them, there's usually little doubt.
Right.
He could absolutely mash a baseball. And, he's having another great year. Been absolutely fantastic for them. Aaron Judge, who you mentioned, will be back for tonight's game for the Yankees. That is their plan, to activate him and have him make his return tonight after the Yankees lost again last night. Devin Williams blowing the save, and then one of their new additions, Jake Bird, giving up the walk-off home run in the 10th inning. So they can use Aaron Judge. They can use all the help they can get right now with New York, as they have now lost 4 in a row. Then my Cubs last night. Boy, the Michael Soroka era in Chicago. What a memorable one it was.
Headed to the IL. That was quick.
Got 2 whole innings out of it before he had to leave with shoulder discomfort, and is headed to the injury list. So usually shoulder discomfort for a pitcher doesn't result in good things.
Not good.
That's generally elbow and shoulder discomfort, not things you want to hear from the one starting pitcher that you went and picked up at the trade deadline after just 2 innings. Great story last night, though, with Cleveland. Nick Enright getting his first career save. Enright has been battling Hodgkin lymphoma for a few years now. I think he was diagnosed in 22, if I'm not mistaken. And he's got one more round of treatment still to do in November, but he's been good. And with Emmanuel Clase now out, the situation in Cleveland, got the opportunity last night to pick up a save, and picks up his first career save, an emotional night for him. I mean, that's just an incredible story. I can't even imagine what that's like, trying to play Major League Baseball while still going through treatment for cancer.
No, that's absolutely incredible story. To be able to, psychologically, mentally, be able to stay in the frame of mind you need to be successful in professional sports while battling cancer. Guardians winning that game, by the way, as you mentioned, 7-6 and 10. But going back to the Yankees, I read from, and I forget who it was, but a Yankees reporter where they don't think anything's going to happen to Aaron Boone, that he's safe. Yankees are in a tailspin. They go out and they make all these moves. They lose to the Rangers last night 10-8 5. They've lost 4 in a row, as you said. The Blue Jays hammer the Rockies 15-1.
25 hits.
So they're now 5.5 games out and fading in the American League, although they're still, right now, would be in the playoffs as a wild card. They're 2.5 now behind Boston. And I don't know, somehow the Yankees, let me take a look at the wild card standings. I mean, Seattle and the Yankees are tied, Boston right now is the first wild card playoff spot. After that, Texas a game and a half out. Guardians aren't out of it at 2.5. I don't like the Royals, Angels. I just don't like their makeups. But so the Yankees are probably okay. But could you imagine they didn't make the playoffs? You're telling me Aaron Boone would survive that? No way.
No, if they miss the playoffs, he'll be fired at the end of the year. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
But if they lose in the first round, let's say, wild card playoffs, they lose, they get knocked out, I think it can still happen. So to say that Aaron Boone is safe, I think that's ridiculous. But they have really, really faded. We talked Cardinals earlier. Doesn't matter. They're sitting at 500, but they did get that win over the Dodgers, 3-2. About 40 games or so left. 50 games maybe, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm trying to add this up real quick, 113. Yeah, about 49, 50 games for most teams remaining in the regular season. In the National League, Cubs, Mets, Padres right now have the wild card spots. Reds are 3 back, and then the Cardinals. But again, what do the Cardinals have that they can make this kind of run? They do some good things, then they take a step backwards and do some bad things. Last night, Nootbaar had the catch, and they were able to hold off the Dodgers. Giants have faded. So there's still races going on for the wild card, but I don't know how tight it will get for the Padres, Mets, Cubs. I think they're in pretty good shape. Mets certainly battling the Phillies as well for the National League East title. Right now, they sit a game and a half behind the Phillies. The Cubs in the NL Central just 3 behind the Brewers, and the Padres 3 behind the Dodgers. So you have races going on in 5 of the 6 divisions. The Astros lead Seattle by 3. Toronto leads Boston by 3. The only one it's over pretty much is Detroit. Even though the Tigers have struggled a little bit lately, they started to get it together now. They've won 6 of 10, but they have an 8-game lead over the Guardians. I think they're in pretty good shape.
Peter Malnati, one of the player directors on the PGA Tour's policy board, was asked if he was concerned that one of the top players elected not to compete in one of the 3 legs of the FedEx Cup playoffs. He said, very concerned.
There you go, Peter.
He was asked if any measures will be added in the future to prevent McIlroy or any other players from taking the week off during the playoffs. He said, I think there is stuff in the works, and I'll leave it at that. But Webb Simpson, who's also a player director on the board, said, I think it's too hard of a thing to make guys have to play. We're still a sport where you can play when you want to play.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. I mean, even with LIV, and they don't have a FedEx Cup type playoff thing in LIV, I don't believe, right? They just have the season champion. They're at every event. Those guys don't miss.
They don't play nearly as many events either.
Yeah, but neither do these guys. Rory doesn't play that many events.
That's why they went to LIV, so not have to play.
I know, but Rory doesn't play that many events. I like what Malnati's saying. You know, Simpson had more success on the tour than Malnati. Maybe it's a little bit different because at one point he was a top player. I think there is things you can do. Yes, you can't tell these guys during the regular season what to do, when to play, where to play. But I think you could put in some kind of rules and regulations for a damn 3-week period for the FedEx Cup that makes everybody have to play. Something you can do to design the points where it's not, I'm automatically in just because what I did in the regular season. Now, yes, in other sports, in team sports, what you do in the regular season rather, puts you in position to maybe get a bye, to rest some guys, you know, all that stuff, okay? But to me, it's a whole different ballgame. This should be looked at as a different season to me. You have the regular season, it puts you in that position, and you go into the playoffs as number 1, number 2, number 3, and all that. But then, just like they got rid of the Tour Championship strokes, I think there has to be some sort of manipulation, but some sort of changes in the points where it doesn't carry over that much where you can skip an event. I don't know. I don't know what to do exactly, but if Malnati says there's things in the works, because I think it's very important that when you're playing what is supposed to be outside of the majors and maybe the Players' Championship, the most important events of the year, and you can just skip it. I think that's bad. It's a bad precedent being set.
Yeah, the one thing they've shown is a willingness. They have constantly tinkered with the playoffs and the Tour Championship, especially of how to handle it, what other changes they are planning, after getting rid of the stroke advantage, which, again, was an incentive to play. In the other events, they took that away. So they're going the opposite direction.
Yeah,
but
I knew that was going to be an issue. I knew it. I didn't like it.
I don't know what things they can do. Again, I don't. It's not that big a deal to me. But obviously, again, they have shown very much a willingness to continue to tinker and change things. And so certainly for next year, it wouldn't be a surprise at all if they come up with something that either the amount of points won in the playoff event, something to make it more penal one way or another for skipping one of those tournaments. Again, I don't know that you could ever get, I don't know how you could get to a point where a guy ranked as highly as Rory is not going to be able to skip one and be okay, but that's up to them to figure out with all of their mathematics and equations and everything else and how to do it. I just don't know that you could get, I just wonder, I don't know how what the rule-making process is. And I find it hard to believe that these players are all just going to go, yeah, absolutely. You make a rule, we all have to play all of those. I don't see that going through.
I'm dumbfounded sometimes by, look, sometimes things change and you have to change. I get it. I understand that. But sometimes it's a matter of the people that make policy not thinking through all the possibilities. What could happen? Coming up with the FedEx Cup, and then, Fred Smith wanted to ensure that Memphis was a major player in golf by doing what he did with his company to be able to sponsor basically this tour and create the FedEx Cup. He did this for several reasons, but most important is for this city and this tournament. And the thought was, when this was created, that Memphis was in a great position. It was a prestigious tournament, and it still is. It's a playoff event, but that all these guys would participate. I guarantee there was never a thought that one of the biggest names in golf, you could argue maybe the biggest right now with Tiger out, is not going to play in your tournament. So when they create policy, think about the possibilities. Again, some things change. The college the whole college landscape has changed. So with rules, they're going to change as well. But when you think about when you're deciding whether you're going to go to 14 or 16 for the playoff, and think about all the possibilities, the things that could be a problem. Have the foresight.
But there's some problems that just are unavoidable. You can't come up with anything that's perfect.
No, some are unavoidable. But there are some that if you just thought it through, that maybe you don't have to make a change every single year. Like there are some things that they change it every damn year. And it gets you can't even remember what the process is because of the changes that are made every year. I'm not talking
There's also people that complain about it every year no matter what they do. Everybody complained when the winner of the final event may not be the actual winner of the FedEx Cup.
Oh, that was
then they changed it.
But
they made it the actual winner, and then they made it the winner, and everybody complained about that. So now it's like what? And now they do this, and now people are complaining that Rory's skipping an event. So it's whatever. Like I figure it out. If you got the perfect answer, tell them. I'm sure they will. But again, these players are not going to agree to you get to tell me all the tournaments I'm going to play in.
No, I think though that they should be able to come to a conclusion that they have to play these three. Unless there's an injury where they can't physically play. Or, I guess, emergent. There are exceptions to the rules. But he's not, his wife's not about to give birth. He's not injured. He's just skipping. He announced this 5 months ago that he was going to skip a playoff event. We knew it was going to be Memphis. We knew it. So make it mandatory somehow. Make it mandatory. There are rules that they have to adhere by, other rules that they have to play by. There are rules of the game of golf. Make it a rule where they have to play, in that first event. And then if they qualify, they have to play in the second. If they have to qualify, they play in the third. All right, we'll take a siesta for the next 23 hours or 21 hours. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, bright and early, we'll bring you our first of 3 days of live wall-to-wall coverage from TPC Southwind. We'll be out at the Hub, so come on out and see us tomorrow. It will be the practice rounds going on, and then round one of the event on Thursday, round two on Friday. All our shows all day long at TPC Southwind. I want to thank Joe Roderick, Austin Chin for joining us on the program today. Coming up next, it's Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Brian Dacus will be pinch hitting for Wolo once again. I think he returns later on this week. Again, we'll see you tomorrow. Among our guests tomorrow, Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. We'll talk some Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole. We'll talk some Tigers basketball with Parth Upajai. For Eli Savoy, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56.